Mr. Bean, a beloved British national treasure that has spawned a multi-generational audience spanning over 30 years, first introduced to our screens in 1990 and then later having an animated TV show in 2002 with over 100 episodes, also spanning multiple movies, with a YouTube channel with over 30 million plus subscribers. That's more than Jacksepticeye, KSI, Ali A and Dan TDM. He also has his name and face on pretty much every merchandisable item you can think of. We're talking lunchboxes, phone cases, Funko Pops, face masks, and so much more weird stuff. He's also a video game Wait, what?
Sharon! Sharon! Who wrote the script?
Mr. Bean, video game. There is. Oh god, it's gonna be one of those videos, ain't it? Well, you saw it. There is indeed actually a Mr. Bean video game made back in 2007 for the PlayStation and then later released on the Nintendo DS, the Wii, and the PC. If you guys ever want me to do a full playthrough of the Mr. Bean game dressed as Mr. Bean, I challenge you to get this video to 100 likes and I'll do the whole thing dressed as Mr. Bean and put the whole VOD on my other YouTube channel. The game itself is a simple 3D platform where you need to collect enough of something to save Mr. Bean's beloved Teddy. People say this game is terrible, some saying it is downright the worst video game they've ever played. Though I think, to be honest, that's a bit dramatic because some of the stuff I've played in recent years could probably contend for the worst game ever played. And to be fair, there's also games out today, like in recent years, that have a lower rating on Metacritic than this game does, so worst game of all time? Probably scratching at the surface there a bit. To be honest, the PS2 era was a really weird time of gaming. As someone who grew up with it, it really felt like anyone who had an IP would just want to slap a video game license on it, whether it be from a cartoon, anime, TV show, or movie. It just felt like anyone was like, we need a video game adaptation. And to be honest, while that worked for some movies and some TV shows, for some cases, it really didn't work. And if you guys would want me to make a video on the weirdest video game adaptations ever made, please let me know, I'd love to do it. Anyway, back to the video. The publishers of this game were known for taking licenses from anybody and everybody and making video game adaptations with lackluster quality. And here are a few examples. We've got Postman Pat the video game. We've got Babe the video game, as in Babe the pig. We've got Thunderbirds and Little Britain. For God's sake, I actually own it, and yeah, it's safe to say that company is no longer around. But ludicrous business plans aside, why did the game suck so much? I think from what I've seen when playing the game, it's just dull. It's dull and repetitive, and there isn't much variety, and the graphics for the game are ugly. Bear in mind, this was the PS2 era where you had games like God of War, Shadow of the Colossus, Final Fantasy games. You had so many good games with graphics, and the graphics for this were ugly. But I feel like this company were notorious for just putting games out that just weren't good. Though the game was targeted 3+, so we didn't want a super impossible game, but I feel like even a 3-year-old would get bored of this game. And to be honest, these days kids don't play platformers, they're all too busy playing Fortnite, so that'll be the next thing. It'll be Mr. Bean in Fortnite taking someone out and doing a fat emote on Hatsune Miku. Please don't do that. So it's safe to say most people didn't like the Mr. Bean game, but that left me wondering, what if we could make the best Mr. Bean game possible? Maybe the game came out too early in its life cycle. What if we could make a genre flip Mr. Bean game that would actually work and survive today? But rather than coming up with a good game, I wanted to come up with 5 of the weirdest concepts for a Mr. Bean game. So I asked AI to come up with some of the ideas, and I came up with some of the ideas myself, and some of them are so weird and out there that I wish they existed. And if you guys have any weird ideas for Mr. Bean games, genre flipped or whatever, just write them down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas as well. With mascot horror on the rise, it only seems fair to mimic the popularity of Bendy and the Ink Machine, Poppy's Playtime, and Five Nights at Freddy's by taking a beloved animated character and getting them to chase you down and basically unalive you. We could go down the similar route of Bendy and the Ink Machine, where you pick up items and complete objectives to escape Mr. Bean's house. As we all know, he makes weird, strange contraptions in his free time. Or you could actually play as Mr. Bean escaping from Mrs. Wicket, who is finally done with Mr. Bean's stupid antics. Or, one of my favourite ideas I came up with was going full meta and having Mr. Bean as like a live sitcom show where you're a fan who gets left after dark and you're trying to leave the studio, but while you're looking around trying to find your way out, you find that Mr. Bean is some sort of deranged psychotic monster that eats children, and you just basically need to escape. Another weird horror route could be Five Nights at Beanies, where basically it's Five Nights at Freddy's with a Mr. Bean skin. It's one of the most generic ideas I could think of, but there is so many fan games where people have took the concept of FNAF and made so many weird games out of it. Or, to be honest, we could do an old school route where we play a point and click horror game similar to the Clock Tower series, where you're trying to escape a mansion, but Mr. Bean is pursuing you like the Scissorman. To be honest, horror kind of works because there's already fan-made horror games for games like Family Guy and SpongeBob and even Futurama. There are so many horror games of beloved mascots where I feel like this could work. If anyone would love to make that game, please let me know and I will play it. But also, give me credit and share this video, if you please. Now, horror games are a good idea, but I also feel like it's a very easy route to go down. And I don't want easy, I want something weird and strange. But what about a Mr. Bean card deck building game? Now, I know it sounds weird, but imagine a social etiquette deck building game like Slay the Spire meets social awkwardness. We all know that crippling anxiety we get when we go to a party and meet someone for the first time and have to do introductions, shake hands and all the social stuff. But imagine that as a deck building card based game where your cards dictate the outcome of that situation. Like, I'll give you an example. Imagine being at a wedding and you meet someone who you went to school with who's a bit smug and trying to talk about their Porsche and being very posh and a bit of a snob. You basically engage in a social interaction where they have a deck of cards and you have a deck of cards. Instead of swords and shields, you wield manners, awkwardness, and inappropriate actions. Each card represents an action. Spill soup, steal hat, give compliment, that sort of thing. Your goal is to lower your opponent's patience meter while keeping your reputation meter high, and ultimately getting them that embarrassed that they back off. And the same happens to you. If it gets too low, you're out of there. Game over. Cards can also chain together to make bigger slapstick moments. Spill drink, apologise too loudly, trip over a tablecloth, accidentally propose to your nan. The game would play like a roguelike where every run is different. You start at small gatherings and work your way up to the royal garden party or a state banquet. So like I said, there would be attack cards where you're attacking your opponent's reputation and their patience meter, and you'd also have defense cards that protect you. So there would also be chaos cards where you don't know what you've got until you flip it, and that could seriously help you or seriously hinder your run. So that would be an interesting mechanic as well. There'd also be a card shop, like maybe call it Teddy's card opening shop, where you get a pack of cards that you open. Maybe you can trade in cards as well, so if you get dupes of a certain card, you can trade them in or combine them together like the Inscription game. And obviously the thing about this is that the higher you get up to the end goal, the harder the stages would be and the social events would get worse and worse. Much like Binding of Isaac, there could be multiple endings, so replayability is there. You could get like a good ending where you become the new King of England, or you could get a bad ending where you basically start another world war. Or you could go get a dumb ending where he basically goes to space and goes to live on Mars or something like that. To be honest, I kind of like this idea because it combines two of my favourite things, card games and roguelikes, but also it fits perfectly with Mr. Bean and his awkwardness. He is an awkward character that always kind of says the wrong thing or does the wrong thing, and I think that's what's good about the appeal, is that it fits the character really well. If you guys like this idea as well, maybe share it around. Like, I would love to see this be made one day. Now, I love deck building games as much as the next person, but you know what else I love? An RPG. And yes, I said that right, a Mr. Bean RPG. Now, before people start thinking of the GTA mods where Mr. Bean's going around shooting people, I would want this to be tailored more towards kids. So for everyone out there who's going to mod GTA with Mr. Bean in it, I apologise. The one thing the PS2 game lacked was any sort of freedom. You're slammed into pre-generated levels and collect items, which is super boring. Imagine you play as Mr. Bean on the high streets of London, driving around in his little green Mini. Imagine the Simpsons Hit and Run, but in London. So no guns, no heavy violence like GTA, just Mr. Bean driving around trying to find his teddy that has gone missing, and to do that he has to complete nefarious acts with random NPCs in the world, and in doing so creating all sorts of mischiefs and getting himself in all kinds of trouble. There could be side missions and side tasks for upgrades to your car, or unlock other vehicles or outfits from Mr. Bean by collecting money by completing these tasks, similar to the Simpsons Hit and Run again where they had outfits. But you know what else Simpsons Hit and Run had? Collectibles. The collectibles could be items from the animated TV show, similar to that of the Buzz Cola cards in Simpsons Hit and Run. Also having a nuisance meter. If you cause too many issues, the police will chase you down and arrest you, or you need to drive away and get away from them until the meter goes back down. Also, you could have challenges like time trials for driving, mini games such as going to carnivals or delivering pizza. It would stick with the child-friendly fun as the game would be colourful, bouncy and have lots of slapstick comedy, with in-game cutscenes added for humour. I think, to be honest, I just miss Simpsons Hit and Run too much, and the day they remaster that game or remake it, I know that might never happen, but the day it does, best believe I'm going to buy that. Now this one, to be honest, I didn't have much of an input in. I kind of just let ChatGPT do its thing with this. I typed in, give me 5 of the weirdest Mr. Bean game genres you can think of, and it gave me a Mr. Bean Souls-like. I have no idea how this is going to work. I'm going to read this out to you guys, and let's just see what happens with this, okay? Because I am so excited for this. The grim oppressive atmosphere of a From Software style Souls-like, but starring Mr. Bean. Every fight is punishingly hard, not because the enemies are overpowered, but because your main character is a clumsy, awkward man in a tweed jacket. You'll dodge roll like a sack of potatoes, accidentally equip a turkey on your head, and still somehow triumph. The Bean realm has fallen to chaos. Once a land of tea and biscuits and polite nods is now overrun with monstrous embodiments of bad manners and social awkwardness. Mr. Bean, the chosen fool, must journey through the cursed kingdom to defeat the 7 lords of awkwardness and restore proper etiquette to the land. So I've got some mechanics here. Lock on melee combat with a deliberately slightly awkward timing. Bean trips over scenery, weapon swings get stuck in furniture. Mistakes are frequent, but every slip can hurt enemies in ridiculous ways. Every action, running, dodging, drinking tea, uses stamina. Overexert him and Mr. Bean huffs, pants and clutches his knees mid-boss fight. Replace swords and spears with Bean's appropriate gear. Mop of Justice, Vacuum Lance, Umbrella Parry, Teddy Shield. Social awkwardness status effects, embarrassment, tea withdrawal, over politeness. And now you've got the Lords of Awkwardness. Lord Spillage, the Hat Snatcher, Count Cringe, the Grand Q Master, Dame Fumblefork, Sir Stumble-A-Lot, the Hostess Eternal, and then you've got Polite Ending, Chaotic Ending, and the True Bean Ending. Not gonna lie, that game sounds stupidly funny. I would love to see a Mr. Bean Souls-like where you stumble all over yourself. It's basically Manual Samuel or Quap meets Elden Ring. That would be absolutely amazing. Please make that someone. And finally, one of the weirdest options that I came up with, so you're welcome, a Mr. Bean visual dating novel. Now, after getting this prompt, I wasn't sure what style to go down, and by that I mean visual style. Do we go down the typical Mr. Bean animated series style where everyone is in that cartoony style, or do we make everybody weeby as hell and everyone has an anime style drawn version of themselves? And you're a student attending a new school in Japan, England, where Mr. Bean's the popular guy and you need to try and date him, but to get there you need to date a bunch of other people. I just thought really stupid with this, but to be honest, I kind of decided to lean into the meme of this whole thing. But you know what that means, Mr. Bean senpai. This video took such a weird goddamn turn. Like, I started off with like kind of good ideas, and now we've just got like Weeb Mr. Bean, Weeb Bean, Mr. Ween. Honestly, I've gone so weird with this and I love it. And to be honest, with Mr. Bean not showing that he's ever romantically involved with anybody, it kind of makes sense when you're trying to get him to date you, because he would be so oblivious to it. Or we could go down another route where you're a transfer student who goes to Japan, you're playing as Mr. Bean, and because you're so socially awkward, you're just trying to get a date. But then everybody is kind of into you because you're British and you're from a different country, and everyone's kind of into you, including the staff. Typical day in the game would be you go to class, so you go to certain areas, you talk to people, and they would have like a heart meter, and you need to get that heart meter full and ask them on a date. And then I think I would do you need to get all 5 hearts full, but it's going to be more difficult over time. You need to learn more about them, what they like, what they dislike. and there would be multiple endings for if you date someone. There's 3 endings, a good ending, a bad ending, and a neutral ending. So there's going to be a lot of replayability there, and there's going to be a lot of weird interactions with characters. But yeah, so a romance meter, you say the right thing, it goes up. You say the wrong thing, it goes down. You say it too many times, they just don't want to date you, and you can't date them again, or you don't get a chance, so you have to restart the game. And as absurd as it sounds, dating sims are everywhere. I mean, there's a Colonel Sanders dating sim. There is a Dead by Daylight dating sim. There is a sim where you literally date inanimate objects in a game where you can date a door and a bin and all that stuff. And I actually want to play that game. But there's also a dating sim that someone made for Shia LaBeouf. So dating sims are just kind of that thing where you can slap a dating sim on it and it's comedic genius. Right guys, well that's it. That is 5 of the weirdest gaming concepts I could come up with for Mr. Bean. If you guys enjoyed that, please let me know. And if you guys want me to do it for other franchises, also let me know. If you guys also have any ideas for Mr. Bean games, let me know in the comments down below, or just any game in general. But I really hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see you guys around for the next one. Different variety of videos coming soon, I promise, okay? See you around. Bye-bye.